You like Macintosh toffee?
No, I don't.
I remember when I was a kid, my brother and I used to get it. We used to put it in the fridge, like the freezer, before we'd go see a movie.
Yeah.
And then we'd take it outside the movie theater and we'd throw the box on the ground and it would shatter. And that, for some reason, saved our teeth a little bit in the theater, the pull. Because you'd put it in and it'd slowly start to melt and then you'd like get it stuck. And then once you had popcorn in there, man, it was at a toothpick season, let me tell you. Little craft. You ever like your mom ever melt down craft, those little square caramels?
Actually, one of my favorite desserts as a kid was my mom would make a like a from scratch white cake, and she would make a like hot caramel sauce to put on it.
Is that what you made it from?
I don't know what. No, she made like caramel from scratch,
Woo!
like butter, brown sugar, like. Yeah. No, and it's like one of the most magical desserts you'll ever have.
It always surprised me that movie theaters didn't sell like a caramel option, like a toffee option. Some sort of
Didn't surprise me at all.
what about Crunch and Munch? Are you a Crunch and Munch kind of guy?
Not much of a Crunch and Munch guy.
Cracker Jack?
What'd you call me?
Cracker Jack?
Here we are.
All right.
World famous. What if they had any world famous pecan pie?
Probably not.
Really? I feel like today's the day.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have caramels.
This is Doc's. It opened in 1999 on Grey Cup Sunday. It's loud, it's edgy, the staff are friendly, and the food is great. It's like Cheers, the kind of place where everybody knows your name, especially for Jerry and I. We've been lunching here for over a decade, which is why it's the perfect location for the next episode of Unsolicited Flick Picks.
Howdy. Welcome to the show. This is Unsolicited Flick Picks. My name is Jerry Joe. This
It's Tim Davenport.
And every week we get together usually for coffee or a beer, but as Matt Damon said in Good Will Hunting, it's as arbitrary as sitting around eating a bunch of caramels. So today you got geeky friends in bars eating toffee. I think Mr. Ben Simmons got some beer for us on the way.
I hope so.
To wash down these delicious caramels.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm here.
This is Ben. Ben asked us a question in our last episode, and unfortunately we suckered him in. This is how we get
Trap game.
Which, by the way, the DiCaprio question was a great one, but I am curious what your choice is.
Ooh.
So, which role should DiCaprio have gotten an Oscar for?
That was Ben's $1 million question.
Definitely Django Unchained for me.
Oh, yeah.
Deserved one.
Yeah.
We didn't even.
Mr.
That
Kennedy.
wasn't a lead, but it was supporting.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other one?
He got beat out by Christoph Waltz on that one.
Inception.
From the same movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Inception.
Inception as well.
Well, you didn't say Shutter Island, so you get yourself a caramel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Cheers.
man. Jim?
Jerry. Folks at home.
So we're live at Doc's. This is where it all began.
I don't think we thought it through with the topies.
I want to see how many we can get in. Do the Kung Fu Panda Dumpling Challenge.
Yeah, the dumpling challenge. Yeah, nothing like watching two grown men with a mouthful of caramels try to talk about food.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, totally.
So, that's a joke. Gotta take the wrapper off.
Yeah, that's step one. These ones didn't come with instructions,
No.
so kind of threw us.
They did, but they're very small.
Exactly.
So what have you been watching?
I've seen a lot lately. Went and saw the new James Bond.
Oh!
No Time to Die.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Spoil it for me.
The action sequences are fantastic. Everybody in it is great. Rami Malek as the villain. Like they totally play him as like a classic, like true evil Bond villain, complete with like secret lair nods,
cool.
and even added in like sound effects that you heard in some of those movies.
You know what I liked about the trailer with him, and it was the part where he goes,
yeah, that's the whole movie. It makes the whole movie, I should say.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody, exactly. Obviously, what's his pickle? The voice of the Watcher.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright, thank you. He's back as Felix. Felix Leiter and Christoph Waltz, speaking of, winning the Oscar for Django Unchained, he's back. But one of the things that I loved about this one was it had a lot of nods, soundtrack-wise, sound editing-wise, and even like some of the camera shots that they got to a lot of the original Bond movies. One in particular you will see a lot, which is the one that a lot of people aren't that familiar with, which is On Her Majesty's Secret Service, the only one that George Lazenby did.
We're big fans of Fleabag on the show. Phoebe Waller-Bridge did some writing on the new Bond. A lot of breaking of the fourth wall.
Yeah, exactly.
By Daniel Craig.
Yeah, exactly.
Shake it.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's what she said.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of that.
Actually, speaking of that's what she said, it's what she didn't say that was really impressive in this movie. They really moved away from the some of the kind of archaic, misogynistic tropes of the original movies. And
Do they overplay that though?
No, not at all. Actually, they actually had fun with it, and they did a great job. And you can tell some of the parts that absolutely would have been written by Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Oh, cool.
There's some funny moments in there.
Vibrator comes out.
What's the actress? Leah Seydoux is back from the last two, and she's fantastic in it. But also from Blade Runner 2049.
You're not going to pull this out of my skull right now.
Yeah, no. Anyway, Cara Del. Her name is like on the tip of my, yeah, her name's right on the tip of my
Cara
tongue.
Delicio.
Yeah, exactly. Her. Anyway, she plays a U.S. agent in it. She was dating Ben Affleck recently.
Oh,
beautiful
poor girl.
Yeah. What about you? What have you been watching?
Well, we haven't discussed it yet, but what if?
What if what?
What if I tell you what I've been watching?
Well, I'm all ears. What if you actually told me?
So, also starring What's His Pickle.
Exactly. And what's her name? Old so and so. I'll never forget
What's
her
His
name.
Pickle, aka Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
As Uatu the Watcher.
Yeah.
What If? Marvel's What If on Disney Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a big cartoon guy historically. Like when I was a kid, I watched them all the time, but as an adult, like there's like Rick and Morty in a lot of these cartoons. Simpsons, well documented that.
The premise of the series is: what if one thing changed in history along the course of the events of what we've seen already from the Marvel Universe on film? What would be different? What would change? And there's this omnipotent sort of celestial being called the Watcher who can observe everything, sees everything, but can't interfere. But the question I have that was left kind of ambiguous about the show is it going to have repercussions in the regular Marvel universe?
Well, exactly, and because the way they filmed it and the way they've done it is it's not just hypotheticals; it is actual alternate reality and reference to multiverse, which we've seen now, particularly with the Loki series and where that WandaVision.
And now Spider-Man.
And now Spider-Man.
And Doctor Strange.
And like that's the thing. They're really actually. I mean, the multiverse of madness. I mean, they're not even hiding it. It's in the title of the upcoming Doctor Strange sequel. So yeah. If what happens in each of these episodes, because the series is wrapped now, it's all done. I think it was 9 episodes or whatever it was. If any of the things that they portrayed in this series actually come to fruition, like holy shit, we're in for a pretty big hell of a ride. with the movies because
with
shit's about to get real.
With Loki and the TVA, with what they're going to do with Spider-Man, with what they're doing with Doctor Strange, and now What If, they're really like throwing everything into a bag and giving that bag a good shake.
Yeah.
Spilling it all out.
Yeah.
Picking it up.
Yeah. And who knew it was full of caramels?
Who knew?
Who knew it was toffee this
Lucky
whole
us.
time?
Lucky us. What else? Mister, I've been watching everything.
I did watch the Venom sequel. Yeah.
Spoil that for us.
You know what? It was a tremendously disappointing movie, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know how you can get Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson together on film and end up with.
I know how.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's what it amounted to. The bright spots of that movie were the comedic sequences between Venom, the symbiote, and Tom Hardy's character, Eddie Brock. And that was it for me. They lost me.
And the credits.
Yeah, the credits. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. There's a big credit sequence. That movie's new enough. We're not going to spoil that for you. But the mid-credits scene has far-reaching repercussions in future films of all varieties. That's all I can say. And there's some interesting bits. Right. And then it's like halfway through production, they remember, oh shit.
We got $473 billion to spend.
Exactly. We got $800 billion budget. We got to use it. And so they just go...
Throw in a ton of CGI. Yeah. Just dump that CGI on the ship down.
And they really took a dump of CGI on this movie. But the CGI... I mean, the quality was decent enough, but it's so over the top. Like, there's a sequence with Carnage where he's like, I think he is almost 2 stories tall. He gets so big, and there's an explanation as to why he gets that big, and it's not a very good one.
Stupid.
It's stupid.
It's stupid.
Stupid. Yeah. No, honestly, that's not a movie I would pay to watch in the theater twice. I wouldn't have paid once.
I'm not.
Yeah. A friend of mine actually wanted me to go with him. And so I agreed to it, and it was actually his birthday present to me. So
now you're a dick.
So now I'm just a dick.
I hated my birthday.
Worst birthday.
No, why did you take me to see the shitty movie?
Stupid shitty movie.
Did you want to apologize to him?
Sorry, Corey. I love you. He's pretty thick-skinned. He won't mind. He didn't enjoy it either particularly much. He was kind of like, eh. So he would, if he were here, he would agree. Yeah.
Listen, I've downed about 18 caramels.
Yeah, and now I can actually hear your veins vibrating.
Oh, man.
Let me go get you another one.
Thank you. Do you want some food too?
I think I need to order some grub.
If you guys haven't had the sandwiches here at Doc's, par excellence.
Yeah. So that's where. Did we mention that's where we're actually filming?
I did.
You did? Okay. I don't pay attention to what Jerry says typically, so. So I wasn't sure if you knew where we were. I don't know if I know where I am right now, actually.
You're at Doc's.
Say thank you. That's why we have Ben here. Yeah, he's my emotional support worker.
What are you going to have stuff?
I'm going to have one of the Sofa Kings, the Italian, please.
The Italian Sofa King.
Please, and if they could, slice that bad boy in half for me.
Slice it in
Really
half.
sweet
And I will
lesson.
do that same thing.
Same thing. 2 Italians on the way.
But before you run, help us out here, man. Why can't I remember her name? She's the beautiful actress. She was the kind of android hologram in Blade Runner 2049, Ryan Gosling's. She was dating Ben Affleck. Beautiful blue eyes. It's like Ava.
I can go do some research while I get these
Why
beers.
can none of us come up with this name?
Google.
If only I had this device that could just punch these things in and find this information. I actually don't have my device.
It's a full service type of place. We'll go find
Okay,
out.
beautiful. That's why we love Docs.
Yeah.
No sense. Like,
I may have dropped a caramel. I got more.
making it
Don't
right top,
splash the
yeah,
shit in the pot.
Don't splash the pot. I will splash the pot whenever the fuck I want. Rounders. Now, there's a movie you and I have never discussed. That is a fucking fantastic movie.
Rounders is like in the same sort of pocket as like Limitless. If Limitless is on TV and I'm like, I gotta watch the first 3/4 of this.
Yeah. First 3/4. Yeah.
Because it is. You know how many times I've seen the start of Limitless? Like
Yeah.
the first half, 3/4.
An unlimited amount of times.
It is. It's bottomless.
It's the bottomless limitless.
Yeah. It's just like the fries at Red Robin.
Yeah.
You get 12, but they bring another 12.
They'll bring another 12.
Yeah, Rounders is a great film.
Great movie. I mean, I'm sure most of you, I hope at least most of you have seen it. But if you haven't,
Matt Damon,
Ed Norton, Famke Janssen, John Malkovich, and then there's other supporting cast that show up.
Ava,
I think she would have been about 8 years old in that movie.
Mr. What's his pickles in there?
And Mr. What's His Pickle, old so and so. He's fantastic.
So good.
Yeah,
Probably his best work.
Mr. So and so was so deserving of an Oscar for that one.
He so was. Oh, Ben.
Oh, I'm back.
Hand of God.
Guess who's back?
The hand of God.
Hand of God.
The Hand of God.
Shout out to Chrono Ales.
Oh, that is a hell of a beer, actually.
Have you ever had the backhand of God?
Yeah, from Prague.
Chrono.
I mean, if there ever was a brewery name that just sounds like we make mead.
We punch
Yeah,
clothes.
yeah. You drink it out of a horn.
Right, I should have. What are those called? The little that skiers have.
Oh, the
flask.
the skin. Like it's not a wine skin, but it's like the
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
need to
remember
be
the name
drinking
of it.
out of that.
I don't remember the name of it. Much like what's her name?
That's right.
That beautiful. Which, by the way, if Luke was watching this episode right now, he would be screaming at the television because he knows exactly who I'm talking about. Because she's literally stunning. Like, and it's
Can we get back to the beer?
yes.
Okay, this beer is the perfect dunking partner for caramels. This just in.
This just in. We interrupt this program for a news bulletin. The actress in question is Anna de Armas.
Oh!
Ah!
There it is. We figured it out.
How could I not come up with? I was like, Anna de
Wasn't she dating Ben Affleck?
I do believe she was. Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yes. Did you actually watch it?
Damn right I did.
Yeah! Woo! Awesome. I've been like this on Tim, like watch this movie.
Yeah.
And I'll do the same to you. I will come through this camera and I will power bomb you.
Yeah.
I'll choke slam you. There's a wonderful man. I get like Art Cockles even talking about this movie. There's a wonderful guy named Zach in the movie, and his name is Zach.
In real life.
Yeah, Godside.
Yeah, it's
it's Godside.
I remember the first name Zach. Anyway.
Zach Godside. He's this wonderful actor who has Down syndrome, and the directors and the writers, I guess, had a relationship with this guy. He's been acting since he was, I think, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And this is his showcase. This is his big boom coming out party in this movie.
And so he's been placed in what is ultimately like an extended care facility for senior citizens, and he's just kind of slipped through the cracks in the state system. And
he's been in there for 3 years, and the backstory to it is that his family basically disowned him.
Yeah,
dropped
they just
him off. They couldn't handle his condition.
Yeah, and Dakota Johnson plays the kind of the aide that kind of looks after him in the facility, and
so he makes a break for it.
He makes a break for it.
You know, so you got Shia LaBeouf's character Tyler, who's on the run from his past, and you've got this young man, 22 years old, with Down syndrome, who's having his first taste of freedom.
Yeah.
It's referenced in the movie, I believe, once, but I've been telling my friends that it's a Mark Twainsian sort of
absolutely
Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn, Jim kind of tale where these two go on this great grand adventure. This movie, Peanut Butter Falcon, I cannot implore you enough to go see it. It's probably the best film I've seen in ages.
Yeah, no, it really tugs on the heartstrings. I will say this: there was a little bit about the ending that I wasn't totally thrilled about, but the movie overall is it It'll hit you right in the touchy
Full
feelings.
disclosure, I cried twice before it was even halfway.
Before he even turned it on.
Yeah. I was like,
Well, the first was because he stubbed his toe on the coffee table when he sat down.
Yeah.
No.
I had something in my head.
No, it's
awesome.
It's awesome, and
Lots of humor.
Yeah.
Great acting.
Yeah.
Fantastic cinematography. I mean,
Yep.
I just, yeah.
Ricky Victor.
Yeah, so Peanut Butter Falcon, I'm glad you watched it.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Hi. You look a little low.
Is
You
it
okay?
Is it on my face?
You okay, dude?
It's on your face.
Okay, it's just
I'm
Peanut
a
Butter
little.
Falcon.
I had a bad start to my day, though.
Well, we can make it better with that.
You know what?
Superdale Spritz.
I think in the Spritzy Boy, by the way, is fantastic. Yeah. So if you're ever at Doc's, B&A makes most of the house bevies, the brewery, and the Spritzy Boy does not disappoint. But I'm actually going to switch just because I'm having the Italian sandwich. I'll do a glass of your finest red.
Finest red
And
we have.
by that I mean the only red I believe you have.
Yes, the only red we have.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the finest, let me tell you.
The finest in house.
Yeah, the finest in the building.
Yeah,
by far.
Okay. Joe, I'll go grab that for
Awesome.
you.
Thanks,
I'll
buddy.
be back.
You know what? But actually, there was something we were talking about earlier, just about James Bond. I was talking about the soundtrack and the throwbacks, and it made me think of something you and I have never really talked about, which is your favorite movie soundtracks and mine. What's your?
Okay. Right off the bat, I would say The Crow.
Yeah.
Singles.
Nice.
Singles is a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Everything from Nancy from Heart is married to Cameron Crowe,
Yeah.
so she actually procured the whole soundtrack, and Heart is actually on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Obviously the Tarantino stuff, I would say even Reservoir Dogs, even over Pulp Fiction. But yeah, In the Name of the Father is a great soundtrack.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah. Been a while since I've seen In the
Right?
Name of the Father. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I dig my soundtracks, man. But, and you?
There's a few standouts. There's a couple of more subtle ones. Judgment Night.
Great one. Fallen with Dinosaur Jr. and
Yeah.
De La Soul is
Yeah.
one of the best tracks that De La Soul's did.
The soundtrack for it was basically it was collaborative tracks between a hip hop artist and a heavy metal artist, or even like grunge or like
alternative.
Yeah. And anyway, go find it if you can. I'm pretty sure Spotify has it. I think YouTube Music has it for streaming on there. It's a badass soundtrack, so I love that one. I have to admit, now this one is more just for how brilliant it is, but Kill Bill.
Yeah.
I mean, bringing in the RZA from Wu-Tang to do all the kind of kung fu sequence stuff.
Yeah.
Ennio Morricone, he didn't get Morricone to compose, but he borrowed from like Il Mercano, sorry, the Mercenary is the name of it. It's a spaghetti western. Anyway, pulls a track from that. Yeah.
Palms are sweaty.
Palms are sweaty.
Spaghetti.
Nancy. Nancy Sinatra is in there, and then there's like the country. Like he's got, for someone to be able to make a movie that visually, of course, crosses multiple genres. You know, spaghetti western, kung fu. You know, even old campy
70s blaxploitation.
Blaxploitation stuff. To combine all those elements visually, and then put the soundtrack to go along with it, using both modern and source music, and to pull it off seamlessly. To me, that movie has one of the most brilliant soundtracks ever put together.
One of my favorite movie soundtracks is Big Night. Fantastic.
Mom and Dad, you're going to love that we're talking about this movie right now. It's
Yeah.
one of my parents' favorite movies.
Oh, I love it.
With Primo and Secondo.
Primo and Secondo, Stanley Tucci and
Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Go see that. It's Count Scott,
And Isabella
Minnie
Rossellini.
Driver. Yeah. Fantastic movie. It's a great home for Thanksgiving or home for the holidays movie to watch with your parents. If you're a foodie, this movie will blow your mind. Speaking of Italian,
Hey, great soundtrack.
speaking of Italian, and speaking of preparing for a meal,
I'm ready for my big man.
so
Thank you.
yeah.
Couple Italians, not named Scorsese.
Hey,
Hey, the other thing we forgot to mention, it's a Tuesday, and so these are only $10 today.
Oh,
Hey, look at this. It gets,
Take
it gets
note,
better.
folks.
If you're looking for the best ham sandwich in Kelowna, it's the Italian at Dogs. Hands down.
yeah.
And by the way, this is not paid promo. We actually asked to shoot here. We asked to be here.
Yeah.
They're accommodating us. We're not accommodating them.
Yeah, that.
And one of the best additions to the subs is there's potato chips.
It's actually the caramels that you can put in.
Caramel's
So,
not included.
Yeah, exactly.
If you love food like we do, and you love movies like we do, you're gonna want to see Big Night.
Yep.
And the soundtrack is fantastic. And my only complaint about the soundtrack is it's not available on anything.
Yeah, totally.
So
That's actually, and that's the thing. A lot of the more obscure movies, the soundtracks still, they're brilliant, but you can't get them anywhere. This is what I hate about the whole streaming age. There used to be a time you just go to the store and buy the CD, and you have it, and that was the end of the discussion. Now it's like, well, it's available on this platform, but not that platform, and so on and so on.
there used to be a time where you could chew caramels in the bar and listen to the Big Night soundtrack.
You know what really grinds my gears?
That. Oh, hey, look. We got more of these.
It's time for another segment we like to call Let It Rip.
So, the purpose of this is we hand a piece of paper to our friends and mostly local barkeeps.
There's a recurring theme.
Yeah. And they write down a question for us. It can be a trivia question, it can be anything under the sun. They can try to stump us or like bend it.
I just keep hoping there's money in them.
Oh, yeah.
So far, coming up empty. But I feel like today's the day.
Today's the day. Gonna shake it like a grandma card. Like a card for grandma. So, yeah, so we don't know what's in them, and we're just gonna open them live as Tim eats a sandwich.
Yeah.
So this first one is from Tiff here at Docs, Tiffany Lalone. Lalone.
La 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 la
La la la
la la la.
Oh, nice one. La 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 la. We love Tiff. She's actually here.
Literally.
Hi, Tiff.
Hi, Jeff, we love you.
Hi, Tiff. We love you. And so we're going to open this now and read what Tiff has to say.
Literally, she's been at Docs for years, over a decade, and one of the most wonderful humans on the planet. So if you ever get a chance, you're down at Docs, consider yourself fortunate if you have the good fortune to have her serve you, because she is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful human being.
Yeah.
What comic book adapted film quoted, "Suddenly I heard a tapping as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door"? A narrative poem published in 1845. Well, this is Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven?
Yeah.
I believe it's The Raven. I'm gonna say it's The Crow. Hey, Tiff. Tiff, is the answer to your question The Crow?
Apparently I should have eaten a little more of my sandwich first.
Well, never more and never mind. I nailed it. And how crazy is that we were talking about The Crow?
I know, that is an odd coincidence.
Yeah.
I haven't talked about the movie The Crow in a very long time.
Well, this deserves a victory kill.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, no, you can't have your caramel to eat your dinner.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah.
Oh.
So this is from. So this is Jared Lee.
Brandon's brother.
Yeah, Brandon's brother, exactly.
Direct descendant.
That's bringing it full circle. Jared Lee is co-owner of a great restaurant here in town, Central. He owns it with Devin Murray, two great guys. And as it turns out, Jared is actually quite the cinephile. He's a big movie and pop culture buff. So when I asked him if he could provide a question, he got so excited, he wrote 3.
Turns out Michael Bolton is a major cinephile.
Yeah. What's even more impressive is it appears as though, yep, he went into his office and typed them while I was eating my lunch and printed it off. So, well done. Ooh.
Well, you could read it out loud.
Are we going to do all 3 or are we gonna...
Yeah, we're going to do all 3.
Oh man, well this is the show right here.
All right.
Question number 1. In the time of COVID and the meteoric rise in popularity of streaming services, is the nostalgic cinema experience becoming extinct? And if so, can it be saved? And I can tell you right now what my answer is to that, very simply. God, I hope it's not going extinct. You know, and I understand the idea of streaming services and the convenience of it, and you're at home and you've got these big screens. But after going and watching the new James Bond, I won't lie, I actually got a little emotional in the theater watching that because it had been so long since I had actually just sat at a theater with a bag of popcorn that had way too much butter on it, and you know the coming attractions thing comes up, like, and the sound, and just and more importantly, enjoying that experience with other people who are along for the same ride.
When we watched Peanut Butter Falcon at home, we clapped.
Yeah.
Hunt for the Wilder People, we stood up and walked around and clapped.
That's such a great movie, I agree.
When I talked to my mom, who's part of the Shuswap Film Society, about Little Salmar Theater, where I saw all of my childhood films, all of them, I asked her about, because she had told me about this movie beforehand, she'd watched it with my son beforehand, and then they both kind of like tag teamed me on, get on it. I said, I finally watched it. And she said, you know what's great about that film? I said, what? She goes, it's one of the only movies in the Film Society that everyone talks about.
Wow.
I love being in a movie theater and having everyone sit in silence at the end of the film, like they just got, like we all just got
You hit by a bus, yeah.
Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
Was one of those. 7.
Like how those two are synonymous with one another.
Oh, yeah.
Schindler's List, Avengers.
But
They're
no,
the same movie, really.
But there's the power of collectively watching cinema and engaging in cinema.
That.
And
it's irreplaceable.
yeah.
And this is a public service announcement from your Uncle Tim. You have a civic duty to go to the theater and enjoy a movie. You got to do it, because if you don't, they will go away, and everyone will regret the day, if it ever happens, that theaters don't exist. It's an important way to experience movies and the magic of movie making and the stories that can be told and how they can be told.
I hope that small cinema, small theaters, continue to show indie films, whereas the big sort of roller coaster events at the extremes and the landmarks and the Cineplex audience, what have you, they provide that by the ticket tape the ride experience. But I love Fifth Avenue Cinema, Salmar Theater. You know, I really hope that those that you go and support independent movies as much as you do
Absolutely.
big scale.
It's important
stuff.
Disney will always make its money.
Yeah.
Paramount will always make its money. Universal will always make its money. Indie film, they are labors of love. They don't make a lot of money. The people that make them don't make a lot of money. And more people need, there's so many important films out there. And Peanut Butter Falcon is a great example of that. It's just a smaller, not big spectacle film, but yet will make you feel every bit the emotion, if not more, than a big spectacle. Streaming services are great, but I sincerely hope that the theater experience does not die, and I hope there's a renaissance with it. I don't know how that will be facilitated, but it starts with you, the viewer. You got to go to the theater. Second question.
the exception of Godfather 2, what sequel outdid the original? Ooh. Thanks for removing Godfather 2 from the options.
I think there's quite a few. Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 for sure. Just because the
Aliens.
see, that was going to be mine. Gear down. You do one, I do one. That's the rule. Aliens. Your turn.
Electric Boogaloo. Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
2.
The gods must be crazy.
Curly's Gold.
Curly. Yeah, exactly. Curly City Slickers too.
Oh, there's quite a few.
You know, Terminator 2. There's still question marks about what's coming and
Not
whether
really. The playground didn't melt. She's sitting there at the end saying the day didn't come. They just decided to
Yeah, but the Terminator always comes back, so you just know he's coming back anyway.
He actually says it.
Yeah.
A lot.
Exactly.
Question-
He did say hasta la vista, though. He did say goodbye.
What's question number 3?
Is that where that's it? I feel like there's movies we're missing here. I will say this. I don't know if I can think of a single comedy sequel where the sequel was better than the first.
Jewel of the Nile.
Well, there's one I wouldn't have expected as a choice. I'll take obscure 80s movie references for 300, Alex.
What's question number 3?
In the history of the Academy Awards, which film was the most deserving of the Best Picture award but wasn't nominated? The problem is, I can think of movies that were nominated that shouldn't have been for Best Picture. Like Wonder Woman, give me a break. Just no. I understand the accomplishment that it was, but in terms of its female director and everything, but Best Picture, are we really going to put that in the same category as movies like Schindler's List and whatnot?
Yeah.
Come on. Unnominated but deserving. Jared, this is a great question, but I'd really have to go into the data banks on this
There
one.
were some great films that I saw, indie films, that I was like, oh my god, how come that didn't get the recognition? Buffalo 66
Yeah.
was, I'm not saying Best Picture, but I'm saying that there's just some stuff out there.
That's the thing. There's movies that you watch that are really, really good movies that don't really get a lot of recognition. Like there's The Cooler with William H. Macy.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's quirky, it's different, but that's a good show, and he's fantastic in it. Now, whether Best Picture, hard to say. Like there's movies like Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. Great movie, but it's not like it. Most people probably haven't even heard of it.
Yeah.
Including Jared.
I know, I'm like,
Great movie.
I think we're going to have to circle back to this. I
Yeah.
think we're going to have to put a pin in it. But Jared, great question. We'll come back around to that next episode. All right, you don't have any more? It's like Christmas over here.
Oh,
Anybody else read this?
my mom.
Oh, it says Mama.
Mama Davenport. No matter what is written on this card, this will be the greatest question in the history of cinema.
I hope it's something about your childhood, like, why didn't you like roast beef? Now you can't get enough of it.
Oh, what a great question.
When are you going to grow up?
What is your favorite Michael Jeter role?
Refresh me, Michael Jeter. All I'm seeing is Derek Jeter in my head.
Michael Jeter, he plays. A lot of people would remember him from the Green Mile. Yeah, exactly. Playing for the Yankees, Derek Jeter. In the Green Mile, he is.
I haven't seen the Green Mile.
What?
Oh, Mr. Jingles, I'm tired. You haven't seen Mr. Jingles. Let's see.
Well, that's okay. So that's he's the guy that has the mouse. He's the inmate with the little mustache. He was on.
He's Mr. Jingles?
Well, no, Mr. Jingles is the mouse, but he's the one that.
Yeah, that's good acting.
He's
good.
Yeah, he's.
I'll say the Green Mom.
Yeah, he was in Jurassic Park 3. He's also in.
Oh, he was in the Green Mile.
And he's in Open Range.
He was in the Fisher Gang.
Yeah.
Waterworld.
This is very easy for me. He is absolutely.
He was the bad guy in
He
Airbud.
played the mouse.
Yeah. Welcome to Collingwood. That is a great movie if you haven't
No,
seen
I
it.
haven't seen it.
Oh man! Speaking of, this could actually go on my list of movies that probably should have had more recognition than it was. Welcome to Collingwood. George Clooney's first attempt at directing. It's about a group of ragtag, small-time criminals that have only ever been failures at being criminals, and they come together to try. They got their big heist that they want to pull off, but of course they're a bunch of bumbling idiots. Like I say, George Clooney's in it and has a cameo. It's a very small part in it. One of the funniest moments in the entire movie. He's
Don't ruin it for me.
yeah. I'm just saying, like it involves him. His character's in a wheelchair, and he's the guy they bring in to. He's the safe cracker, and there's a hilarious bit with that. Luis Guzman is a riot in it. William H. Macy's great, and Michael Jeter has a sequence that. And I know why my mom's asking this question, because I don't think I've ever seen my mom laugh so hard in my life. There's a sequence with Michael Jeter who, if you know who he is, you know he's passed now, unfortunately, quite a few years ago.
Was it a mousetrap?
No, yeah, exactly, Mousetrap, Mr. Jinglestrap. But there's a sequence in that involves him in his little frail frame in his tighty-whitey underwear. That is just absolute comedy gold, and my mom laughs her ass off every time. But besides that, it's a great movie, and he's great in it. Everyone's great.
Is that all for questions?
I'm yes, that's it.
Is Ben happy?
Ben's happy.
Are you happy?
I'm always happy.
I think Jeff's happy. I can tell she's cleared too. All right. I'm suffering from some sort of sugar high.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You seem like really exuberant and happy right now.
Oh, it's not Mr. Jingles. I think Mr. Jingles pushed me over the edge. So for geeky friends in bars eating toffee,
You know what? Every time, you know what? Our apologies to Jesse Clemens. We're so sorry, man. Every time we have you queued up for this interview, we run out of time. We run long. We talk a lot. So, well, we promise we'll get you on.
Clemens, you're
on the list, buddy.
You're coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Zoe Kravitz.
Numero uno fan.
Yeah. Neil Blomkamp.
Say that again.
Neil Blomkamp. You still have $20 on the table to come on our show.
Yeah.
And then we'll throw in some caramels.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll sweeten the pot.
Right?
All right.
For Unsolicited Flick Picks, my name is Jerry Joe. This is
Tim Davenport.
and we'll see you soon. Credits! Credits! I'll splash the pot.
Whenever the fuck I bought. Oh, really?
Good lunch, good show.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a bad one at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that got me was the whole Oscar question. The big snubs.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Saving Private Ryan got beat out by Shakespeare in Love. That was a pretty controversial.
I'm okay with that. I love Shakespeare.
Watch out, there's a convicted felon on the list.
Oh, I'm not I see you brought your wife with you.
Funny you should say that.
I was referring to my good friend Janet Joplin earlier. Ball and Chain from her first album.
There it is.
I love Shakespeare in Love. Tom Stoppard, great screenplay. It's awesome.
Yeah, but it's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Who cares?
And that awful accent. Terrible. Terrible.
I'm fines with that.
Yeah, Joseph Fiennes. Yeah. Maybe Glenn Close.
Yeah, she didn't win anything for anything.
Yeah, old Close but no cigar.
That's right.
Yeah, she's been nominated 800 times, I think, give or take.
Wow.
Yeah, for an old timey milk ad, actually.
That's right, yeah, I bet she was.
Her work in that was
Yeah,
spectacular.
unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. It was that or Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, it was a toss-up. And Bill Clinton for sure. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, well,
There it is.
that's all I got.
All right.
Good to see you, buddy.
You too. Adios.
Adios.